Yeah, I think this is a great time of year. We're I guess now technically at this time 4 total spring training games in to have some little overreactions. I think the first one we did, we kind of just talked about Cole Irvin. I think biggest overreaction we have right now is stud. I think he is going to, at this time,
Cy Young.
Yeah, this is where you look at it and you're like, Cole Irvin is going to be a problem in the MLB this year. Is that the case? I don't know. But after 2 innings of work, we can 100% say he's the next big thing.
Kevin, do you have an overreaction for the crowd, for the audience?
I was going to say the Orioles are going to win the World Series, first of all, as an overreaction just generally. Because, I literally saw less than 1 full inning of spring training, and that was Corbin Burns striking out 2 guys and Adley hitting the homer. So I'm like, all right, I've seen enough. They're winning. That's it. That's all you need to see, right? That's all you need to see. Although I know Jordan Westberg had a heck of a game today. Yeah. Had a homer and almost had a second one. Yeah. What he had was a triple. It was he pulled the ball back in or something.
Kevin, known just Orioles hater Kevin Pillar. No matter what he does, he just shows up against us. Doesn't matter what team.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Jordan Westberg hits a home run in the 4th inning, comes up in the 6th inning, puts another one over the fence, but Kevin Pillar goes to rob it. It hits off his glove. He can't catch it and brings it back in. And Westbrook gets a triple.
So again, the overreaction, after one performance like that is okay. Like that's your guy, everyday player, this, that, and the other. But again, we're very early in the spring training process. It's like it's every sport, honestly, right? It's not just baseball where you have one preseason game where it's like, okay, this guy's going to be a stud or that guy. We know the potential's there, but just because they have this one game, and I don't want to try to be like this, sky is falling and I'm raining on the parade.
Yeah, are you shitting me, Kevin?
No. You said the same thing.
Are you kidding me, Kevin?
Zach said the same.
Just wait. I have a negative overreaction next, so it's going to get everyone going.
No, but I'm just messing with you, Kevin. But you're right. I mean, this is why we're doing it. But no, I'm serious. Get out.
Yeah,
but Zach, what you got?
Next one, actually, Jason called right here. Colton Cowser, the opening day leadoff hitter. Kid's gotten on 4 walks already this spring. Again,
clutch player.
I will say I love early. His comfortability at the plate right now is something we did not see last year. We saw him struggling. It felt like he had a little bit more pressure on him. And I think he even in an interview said, and I quote, "I need to stop thinking so damn much."
Yep.
And I think he's out there playing baseball. And something with Colton Cowser, if you look at his stats, every time he goes to another level, he starts out slow. They took him from single A to double A, started out slow. Is he over his head? All of a sudden takes off, becomes one of the best players at double A, goes to triple A, starts off slow. Is this over his head? Boom, takes off, becomes one of the best prospects in baseball, comes up to the majors, starts off a little slow, gets sent up and down. And now we see, is this where he takes off and he starts doing what Colton Cowser's done over his entire career? And once he gets comfortable, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I love Cowser's ability, and we've talked about this too. And I think everyone's expectation, this is why it literally is one of the gear grinders for me, is when there's a super talented prospect, but then everyone's like, well, replace the guy that's a veteran in the show. And people were talking about replacing, at that time, Cedric, Santander, Hayes.
Yeah.
Hayes is an all-star. Cedric's a former all-star. Santander very well could have been an all-star. So what are you going to do? And then on top of it, he's not going to play every day. So then you have a guy that is talented trying to come up there. He is going to be very tight, and he was very tight. He wasn't comfortable, like he said. And then you're not playing every day. Then you're not swinging at some of the pitches that necessarily that you drive. That's someone's tendency when you get hesitant, is that you sit there and you take a pitch and then you go, shit. Like, I let that one go. That's what it seemed like to me with Cowser. I'll break down Colton a little bit more as it goes, but this is why the Orioles didn't want to get rid of him. In spring training, it's early, but he's got a good eye. He's got tremendous pop, and there's so many things that his game can be evolved into. But the Orioles just have a tremendously talented outfield. And I do think Cedric Mullins, a guy that don't sleep on Ceddy, man. He had a lot of stuff he was dealing with last year, specifically injury-wise.
Yeah.
But that dude impacts the game so much. He's probably the most impactful player on the Orioles roster outside of the Gunnar and Adley Rutschman scenario right now. If you actually think about a position player, that's just how much he can impact a team. So we'll dive into a lot of it as we keep going. And I see some names. I mean, Heston Kjerstad. Oh, big fan of Heston. I know Joe is too. The Razorbacks unite. But
I was gonna say, Joe already put Heston Kjerstad Rookie of the Year. You know it.
Stowers, you got
Stowers got a home run today. Is he back? Is he back?
Dude, I love Stowie, man. I really do. He's such a good dude. And another guy where you're not playing every day, and that makes it tough. And Jason had a comment here
about Colton Cowser. I think it is something with he brought his hands down this year, so that also could be something maybe allows him for better pitch selection. Have to he can wait a little bit longer.
Sometimes it's just technicalities, like things that just it's a little difference here or there. You start on your back foot a little more. You follow like it's a little technical. Do you remember stuff like that, Ryan? You changing stuff throughout your career like that?
Fuck yeah, all the time. And it's still, some stuff didn't even work, but it's crazy. You'll go back and look at film, and you'll sometimes think in your mind when you're making an adjustment that it feels like it's this massive change, and it literally could be. I can take it out of Rocco's book. It can be like this much. You know what I mean? But it's true. It's going to be your hand placement. So I'm going to try to move for a second. I'll go to the board here in a minute. But like, imagine your hands are here, right? And all of a sudden, you had your hands hide maybe a little bit behind your head. And when you go to swing, your shoulder then has to fly off, or your hands are down here. Like, it's just a very tiny movement that's different. But all of it is just to try to have you be a little bit freer and have your hands go from your ready position right to the baseball. Like, that's the ultimate goal, is how can you get essentially from point A to point B consistently over time. And sometimes when you go through the habit of a 162 game season, you're going to sit there and you might think that you're doing the same thing over and over again, but you might just change it a hair and you think, well, wait a minute, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And you go back and look and go, shit, I can see the difference. The everyday person might not be able to, but we talked about Cole Irvin realized that he was doing things wrong. Colton Cowser, another guy, hey, I need to try to change things up because I don't feel like the same hitter that I was hoping to be.